Hello, this is Mr. Hornsby 83 with my Rise and Fall of the Friday the 13th series. This is my three-parter of the Rise and Fall of the Big Three. And this, I talked about Halloween last week. This week is Friday the 13th. So, with the first couple Friday the 13th movies, they did pretty well. You had the big, awesome ending at the end of part one where it's like all happy music, and then, the cops are there to save Alice, and then next thing you know, boom, Jason pops up and grabs her. And then part two starts out with a bang with, Jason killing Alice. I believe that was her name, yeah. Killing her in the movie. Part one and two is pretty good. Then we get to three, the 3D one. I didn't care too much for it. I know a lot of other people liked the movie, but I really didn't care too much for it. I thought, I didn't like the characters at all. I did not like Chris. I did not like her boyfriend. I did not like the dude that walked upside down on his hands, even though that was pretty awesome. Well, I did like Shelly. He was a good character. I did not like the bikers. What purpose were they there for? I don't know. I guess they had to have bullies in the movies along with Jason. I don't know. And Friday the 13th 3 is really the one that Jason doesn't really get called Jason in it. Everybody else knows who Jason is in all the other movies except for 3. So now let's go to Final Chapter. Final Chapter was a really good movie. Despite what Roger Ebert, or was it? Yeah, it was Roger Ebert. Despite what Roger Ebert said, it was a very good movie. Rest in peace to him, but I think he was completely wrong about that movie. Then we get to part 5, which is universally, I guess you could say, universally hated. Because 1, Jason's not in it. 2, the characters were not very likable in that one either. I mean, yeah, there is a lot of nudity in it and a lot of killing, but the characters, I don't think anybody really gave a crap about any of those characters in that movie. They all came off as annoying. They all came off. Even Tommy Jarvis, I mean, well, I guess you could say Tommy Jarvis was the only normal character, even though he was psychopathic in that movie. You had you had the mom, and you had the annoying son. Oh, God. Annoying drug heads in that movie and everything. Let's just go through. The only good thing about 5 was the ending, which they freaking scrapped anyway. Because I think when they came out with 4, I think Final Chapter was supposed to mean the end of Jason becoming the killer and the transition into Tommy Jarvis becoming the killer. Because if you see the end of 4, when he's hugging his sisters, his eyes open and he's all buggy-eyed and all that, which I did a theory on that I think a few weeks ago. Then the way he was acting in 5, he was real wacky out in that one too. Beating up people for no reason. But then they decided to go, I guess, a more campy, I guess you could call it a Scream route for 6, even though 6 came out way before Scream was even, and I guess you could say, an idea. But, and 6 was a pretty good one. It's my favorite. I know a lot of other people say it's their favorite. I really like 6. I honestly wish they would have had Corey Feldman finish out the Tommy Jarvis trilogy. He started with 4. They should have let him come back at 5. I mean, he did make a cameo in 5. And in 6, he should have came back, because I believe by the time 6 came out, he was about teenage age. I don't know.
Teenage age?
Yeah, I mean, he had just did Lost Boys before 6 came out, so why not have Corey Feldman come back at least in 6? But I'm not taking anything away from Tom Matthews, because I like him as Tommy Jarvis, and honestly, they probably didn't invite him back because of how bratty he was in part 4, so I don't know. But in part 4 he was a kid, but still, he was pretty bratty in that movie, so I'm guessing that's why they didn't invite him back. Anyway, then we get to 7, which I guess you could say is the last great Friday the 13th movie, because after that, Friday the 13th movies pretty much go downhill. You got, even though 7 was the first Kane Hodder one, and a lot of people say Kane Hodder is their favorite Jason, The problem with that though is Kane Hodder, the first Jason movie he was in, the first Friday the 13th movie he was in as Jason, was the best out of the four he did. And it was a really good one. I mean, it wasn't his fault how the producers and writers handled the movie after that, but he did his best as Jason. He played the role like he should have played it. Even in 8, you know your favorite thing about 8 is probably Jason. Jason Goes to Hell. I don't think they should have had him do a cameo where he's one of the cops that killed Jason. It just wouldn't have made no sense. But Jason X, he's Jason throughout the whole movie, and you know what Jason Goes to Hell Final Friday. Here's the thing with that. A lot of people hate it because that was the one where New Line had got the rights to Friday the 13th. They brought back Sean Cunningham, but he hadn't watched any of the Friday the 13th after the first one. And he agreed to do Jason Goes to Hell. Now, I don't got no problem with Jason Goes to Hell. Yeah, I know it's a bad movie. I know it's really bad. But I actually kind of like the concept they were trying to do. Jason being supernatural. I mean, come on. New Line is the same people that made Freddy Krueger. But my problem is I think they confused Jason with Michael Myers because they have. All of a sudden now Jason has a sister, a niece, a great niece. I thought, and Creighton Duke getting introduced. Now, had they did the thing with Tommy Jarvis coming back, like Tom Matthews agreeing to be Tommy Jarvis and Jason Goes to Hell, and he's like, or even had they introduced Creighton Duke somehow in, a previous one. But if you think about it, look at Friday the 13th 4. It took place 2 movies after 2 movies after 2, where the guy hunting Jason in that, his sister was killed, and honestly, it was pretty much a week or 2 after all that happened. So that was pretty quick that they found out his sister was dead in that. I mean, that's, so pretty much, I guess it really, the Creighton Duke thing ain't too much of an issue for me. And with the thing with him having to have the payments because Jessica's husband, didn't have no money to pay him. So he paid by letting him break his fingers, I guess. I don't know. But the one problem I do have with Creighton Duke, if he's supposed to be this serious, we're supposed to take him serious as this awesome bounty hunter and that. When he said the thing to the sheriff about Jason's so-called sister, well, she's just your lady because she hasn't had a taste of the Duke. I think that was a senseless line if you're trying to build this guy up as a, tough guy, bounty hunter whose main purpose in life is to kill Jason. I mean, you never seen well, actually, I take that back. In 4, you did see some kind of perverseness with Dr. Loomis thinking those young ladies in that would be interested in him with those young boys in the cartoon. But if all his focus was to kill Jason, he shouldn't have even said a line like that. So now to Jason X. Now I gotta say, this was the final Friday the 13th movie as the original franchise goes. I gotta say, I don't hate it as much as the last Halloween movie. I mean, I can watch Jason X and not be as angry as I am when I watch Halloween Resurrection. I still dislike the movie. I think it's one of the worst Friday the 13th movies, up there with 3 and 5. But I'll watch it. I won't not watch it. And I've actually watched Jason X a couple other times since I've seen it in the theaters a long time ago. Now to the remake. The remake, I know a lot of people have mixed reactions on that. My thing is, it was alright. It was okay. It was a little bit better than Jason X, I'll give it that. But even though I didn't have no problem with Jason Goes to Hell, it's a little bit better than Jason Goes to Hell as well. And Jason Takes Manhattan, even though, Jason Takes Manhattan is the last one that Paramount really owned of the Friday the 13th franchise. But yeah, I mean, overall, like I said with the Halloween franchise, they started out strong and ended kind of weakly. Um, and it's sad to hear that. But I'm gonna give some shout outs, and I'm only gonna shout out a couple of foundations. First off, Red Cross for everything they've been doing for everybody in Houston and I guess Florida from the wakes of the hurricanes that caused floods and that. Also, the Houston Relief, what's it called? The Houston Relief Foundation. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. So, big shout out to both those foundations for really stepping up, and shout out to all the officers or soldiers or whatnot that's out there in Houston. I'm just talking about what went on with the hurricanes lately. Oh yeah, and the FCPA. What is it, FCPA? Also, shout out to SPCA for helping all the animals that I guess were affected by the hurricane as well. That were trapped and they freed them. But yeah, National Guard, police, and all that in Houston and Florida and all that. Big shout out to all of them as well. So that'll do it for this video. Tomorrow night, I'm going to do a DVD commentary on Facebook Live of Friday the 13th. 6, which is my favorite. Which I guess I could now deem this Friday the 13th week, because right before I did this, I did that review of the Friday the 13th figure, Jason. But that'll do it for this video. Please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more. Follow me on my Facebook fan page, Mr. Hornsby 83 Topics. Follow me on Twitter at Mr. Hornsby 83. I also have a written review on Facebook Saturday of the new It movie. So catch you guys later. Peace out.